Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol, Issue 1, Part 2. Let's get into it. Starting off with Rakarth Flesh, going over our black primed mini, which probably wasn't the smartest choice I've had. Just filling in all of the wings and skin tone areas across the body. Up next, I'm coming in with Bagman.Crimson. Now you can use this straight out of the pot or a little bit watered down, which I did water it down just a tiny bit, but really doesn't matter. Yeah, just going across all of the skin tone areas, just to establish this into the deeper recesses and shadows. Going back in with Rakarth Flesh now, just picking out all of the fleshy bits. We are wanting to keep that Bagman.Crimson in the deeper areas though, to emphasize the shadows. Coming through now with Pallid Witch Flesh, going across all the higher points of the skin and fleshy areas. Now with this we are obviously just covering about 50 to 60% of the previous layer, because we do want to show that transition from the shadow tone to the mid tone to this highlight, so we've got nice clean definition. Now that we've got our skin tone down pat, I'm moving across now to Bugman's Glow, and this we're going to be doing on the bottom 2/3 of all of the wing areas of the membrane. Just making sure not to put this into the recesses though, and then we're going to switch over to Kislev Flesh, and we're going to be picking out from about 2/3 of the way down up to the very tip of the wing, and again staying well out of those established recesses that has the Bagman.Crimson in there. Next up we're grabbing Flayed One Flesh, and this is just to pick out the most top prominent areas on these wings, finishing up that transition from the previous tones. Now I've grabbed Nagaroth Knight to go through and pick out all of the armor carapace sections across the mini. Now, having put this down over black, it did take a couple of layers to at least make it feel like I'd got proper full coverage. After that, I jumped in with Pink Horror and picked out all of these little inner muscular tubey bits on the entirety of the mini. I did do the little fleshy knuckly bits, but I didn't like the look of that. So I swapped over to Bugman's Glow, which I then reapplied to the weird little ligamenty knuckly bits across the mini, before going across and hitting all of these areas with Bagman.Crimson again to just tie it back in with the skin tones. I also put this across the Pink Horror sections also. Going back in with Bugman's Glow now, just picking out the higher points here to re-establish this colour while keeping all of the Bagman.Crimson in the recesses. Swapping over now to Cadian Flesh Tone, we're going across the higher points on these fleshy bits just to really emphasise those details. And lastly with Flayed One Flesh, just coming across now and picking out the very most prominent high spots, just a tiny dot here and there and a little line to finish things off. And that is the skin and flesh done. Moving on with Diabolic Plum. Now I start layering this down across the carapace armor areas, wanting to leave a fair chunk of the previous Nagaroth Knight, as I'm not going to be applying any shades, so we want to just work our way up to edges and leave the previous layer showing in the recess areas. Next up with Warlock Magenta. This is a beautiful, beautiful colour. Going through, picking out the prominent higher points again, making our way around the entirety of these armour sections. This step just does so much of the heavy lifting and really bringing out the definition and details to this purple. Coming in next, we've got Spellbound Fuchsia. This is a much more vibrant colour, going across now, just picking out corners and the real extreme high points. This will be our final highlight layer for this section of the mini. I don't really like the way that GW does the box art for the Tyranids. I like to do my own painting style, I guess. I like to just do a few lines to emphasize the curvature of these plates rather than the extreme edge highlighting that they do. Going in now with Abaddon Black, I'm picking out all of the hooves, the claws, and the scythes at the front of the miniature. Following up now with Thunderhawk Blue. This is just to pick out the highest points here, just dragging the brush along the sharpest tips. It's a really easy way to get a nice crisp line across those highlights. Next up, Imperial Fist Contrast, just dropping a little bit of this into the two eyes to really make them pop and stand out. Next up, just any white will do, just picking out the teeth across the mini, and then we are pretty much home and hosed. Last step now is to just grab some art coat, which we will apply to the tongue just to make it look nice and disgusting moist. And there we have them. Our Tyranid Prime is all finished and ready to hit the battlefield. Thank you for joining me on this little painting journey. I do have a goal in place of trying to reach 500 subs in the next few months. Once I do hit that target, I plan on painting up and giving away a new Combat Patrol box to one lucky subscriber.